In Northwest Ohio, water is king. A conspicuous, life-giving resource that runs through the landscape and the heritage of the region. Rivers, by the score, thread their way across the fertile farmlands, eventually winding their way to the shores of Lake Erie. And from this vast network of watery veins, an ecosystem was formed that was, and is, unique on the Great Lakes, spawning a great forest amid the wetlands known as the Great Black Swamp, nurturing an abundance of life, both plant and animal, and sustaining the area's indigenous people and the first pioneers 200 years ago. The rivers provided a bountiful harvest of food, including a treasure of fish. One of the fish that captured the hearts and taste buds of those early inhabitants of the region was the walleye, or walleye pike, or as some would call it, the pickerel. It was one of the perennial favorites to make its way from the rivers to tables of generations of people.
It's a tradition now. Can't get away from it.
And in the springtime, when schools of walleye swim upstream into the local rivers to begin their annual spawning run, is when thousands of anglers also arrive to meet them. On the Maumee River, the largest of the Lake Erie spawning grounds, is where this annual dance of man versus nature begins in mid-March and will last until about the 1st of May.
He's all the way under, huh? Yep.
For several miles along its banks, it's not hard to find eager anglers from a wide region of the country who are called to the river to try their luck at netting these coveted walleye, whose reputation for sport and taste is rivaled by few.
We'll just wait. He'd wait them out. Serve us coffee, a couple sandwiches, and that's it. We'll try again.
The waiting is merely a part of this cherished tradition, as patience is the fisherman's friend. Whether waiting for the season to arrive or waiting for the first bite of the day, the wait can offer many rewards besides the fish.
Yeah, I really don't eat much fish. I just enjoy the art of fishing, and to me it is an art. Might not catch anything, but I still enjoy doing it.
The wait for these anglers was worth it, and now one last wait for their prizes to be cleaned. It's a messy but necessary part of the fishing tradition, as the walleye are readied for their eventual journey to the kitchens, where down-home chefs and cooks from all across the region will turn these fresh catches into coveted meals.
They're almost like scallops if you cook them right. Yeah, I don't. Oh, I let my dad do it for me. I'm like, here, Dad, we got fish. You do with it whatever needs to be done.
So it's not like a saltwater fish where you have to get all that gamey taste out of them. These, you just make sure that the red blood is off of them and cut the belly scraps off of them and just deep fry them.
What kind of oil do you like to use?
I use olive oil, but a lot of people use peanut oil, and then other people, you know, your Crisco. But
do you have a little deep fryer at home, like a small? Oh, wow.
Yeah, we do fish fry, so like all the family members and the Toledo football team will come over twice a year, and so we'll do probably up 200-300 fish.
Well, let's get some of this walleye home and cook it up. First, we'll try the deep fried method. You have to get your batter just right. Not too thick and not too thin. We just use a commercial mix that's available in most stores, mixed it with beer, and just set it on the plate. You dip your fish in it, and it can get kind of messy. But that's okay. Now you're ready for the deep fryer.
Very exciting day.
Boy, we can hardly wait. Ready for the sizzle of the fryer. Put the fish in the basket,
That's enough, you think?
then carefully lower the basket into the hot oil. Be careful, you could get burned if any of the oil splashes up. It's okay to bring it up and check it, and then lower it again if it doesn't look done. This time it took about 5 minutes. And before you know it, it's time to come up and out of that basket.
There we go.
Layers of paper towel will absorb some of the oil, and now it's time to make your plate. Whether you like it as a sandwich or as a dinner, this is really good eating.
I like them on the grill.
Tell me how you do it.
I just put a little bit of olive oil on them and a bit of lemon juice and any seasoning you want, and put them on the grill.
One of the other very popular methods of preparing walleye is to grill them or oven bake them. Many of those we talked with say it's probably the easiest and fastest and the healthiest way to get the walleye from the water to the table.
I was raised with all boys, the only girl, and so our fun stuff was fishing. And my thing to do with my dad alone, because my brothers didn't do it. They don't fish, I fish.
Teresa Marie is the owner of Miss Lily's restaurant in Grand Rapids, Ohio on the Maumee River, and she's been cooking and eating walleye from the time she was a little girl.
And I love taking the tinfoil on your grill and making your bowl out of your tinfoil and putting a pat of butter and squeezing, putting your fish down and no batter, and squeezing your lemon over that. And it's like a minute and 8 seconds on each side, and you're done.
Sounds too easy to not give it a try. So, back in our kitchen, a little time was spent prepping some red and yellow bell peppers and onions, just enough to add some fresh flavor and color to the meal.
Strips of red bell pepper.
Then, as we put several pieces of fresh cleaned walleye on some aluminum foil, we add a few onions, coat the fillets with a little bit of butter, and follow that with a colorful seasoning if you want, or salt and pepper, whatever suits your individual tastes. Sprinkle some of the pieces of yellow and red pepper, and you can, if you want, add more vegetables or other seasonings. Then you're going to take the foil, wrap it up to make a little boat, crimp the top and ends,
How it comes out.
and take it to the grill. The time for cooking will vary somewhat depending upon how close the fillet is to the flame and whether you cook it with the grill open or closed. I'd figure about 10 minutes, but keep checking it. And when the meat is white and flaky, it's done. And ready to put on the plates. Then add a few side dishes like broccoli and rice or couscous for balance and color. Add some fresh fruit for a garnish, and you'll impress even the pickiest of fish eaters. And it's why the walleye is such a popular freshwater game fish throughout the region. Whether you fish for them yourself, or land them at the fish market, or find them at fairs and festivals, all ready to eat, the walleye has been one of the most popular regional foods for centuries in Northwest Ohio. A tradition that returns every year.